The first guy I'm going to be talking about in my top 20 quarterback transfers heading into the 2026 season is Boley of Kentucky, heading to Arizona State, filling in big shoes that Sam Leavitt left as he heads to LSU, but playing for a guy like Kenny Dillingham and offensive coordinator Marcus Arroyo. They've coached guys like Justin Herbert, Jordan Travis, Bo Nix in the development of Sam Leavitt. Boley has all the traits to be successful, all the tools, and heading to an offense like that where they're going to build it and design it around him will be very beneficial in a Big 12 conference where they're going to be slinging the football around. And his story at Kentucky is unique. As a true freshman, asked to start the final game of the season against Louisville, struggles a ton. They go getting Zach Calzada out of the transfer portal, start him in 2025. He gets hurt against Ole Miss, and it's the Boley show the rest of the year as a redshirt freshman. You saw him get better and better every single week, and as you start your first season, you finally have an aha moment. I know I had it as a quarterback. Other quarterbacks have had it as well, where everything starts to slow down and you continue to climb and climb and climb and become a better player. And you saw that throughout the year. And just some traits that show up on tape, you know, the playmaking ability, the big arm down the field. Kentucky likes to run the football a lot, so they're going to try to throw it down the field to these guys. But, you know, he doesn't panic. It's in that Tennessee game where everything starts to slow down and he's ripping it for a touchdown like that. And from the end zone shot, you can see the poise, the calm demeanor, no panic, sees his guy, rips an absolute shot. My favorite here is at Auburn. This is a 3rd and 10. Everybody's walked up on the line of scrimmage. They played at South Carolina, at Auburn, at Georgia. He's played in big SEC environments that will do him well in the Big 12. And no panic at all, 3rd and 10. All these guys walked up. They're pressuring, rips it to his guy for a first down. And the best part is in protection, he doesn't know who's blitzing. He doesn't know who's dropping, but the poise and the demeanor to stay in the pocket and rip it. And then there's the freshman moments that popped up from time to time against Texas in a moment where he needs to throw the football way out of bounds here. He leaves it up for grabs. It's a turnover, trying to press for more. And whether he was trying to throw it away or not, you can leave no doubt as a quarterback when you're trying to rip it out of bounds. He'll be better from this. He'll correct this. And I imagine that all these traits and tools are going to pay off in this Kenny Dillingham offense. Boley is excellent throwing the football on the run, whether it's a play action pass design, naked boot, or a sprint out, or the play breaks down. He has to get outside the pocket and make a play with his arm. He's very, very good at it. And that's going to be critical in the Big 12 conference. You're going to be throwing the ball. Plays are going to break down. And so Kentucky, they run the football a lot. They're an 11 personnel, 1 tight end, 1 running back in the pistol. Their play action game was super important to them. And so what they're trying to do here is get to these 16-yard hinge routes or 16-yard curl routes, deeper curl routes with the play action fake. Tennessee's in a great coverage for it. This is a version of cover 3. Safety has a deep third, corner has a deep third. This other corner has a deep third, and then you have 4 underneath players getting in those hinge windows. So he's trying to throw this one. You got a hook to curl defender, this Mike backer. You have a flat defender, this nickel covering the flat. So there's nowhere to go with the football. Boley gets outside the pocket. And I talked about in that Tennessee game, it finally clicked for him. Everything started to slow down, and it really showed up on tape. This is a confident throw. And you want your quarterback making confident throws from the 28 all the way to the 48, just making an absolute rip on the sideline. Watch it from the end zone shot because that angle does not do it justice. Looking for those hinges, gets outside the pocket. These are SEC defensive linemen, probably running 4.5, chasing him down. He's got to make a rip, puts it perfectly on the sideline. I mean, that's the type of stuff that you want to see. And then here's Vanderbilt, one of the best SEC teams last year. And this is late in the game, but it's still on the road in a big environment. They get into a 3-by-1 bunch from this motion. And they're just trying to get to a concept here where there's going to be an underneath and then a cross route, underneath, and then a sprayed basic. And it's a pure progression, meaning that he's going across the board 1, 2, 3 to 4. But, you know, he feels that the play breaks down. He doesn't have this front side read in his eyes. You know, there's a lot of space over here to get out. He's comfortable throwing it on the run. But then you got 1 defender, 2 defender, 3 defender, and he's got to fit it over the top of that guy and layer the football. I mean, it's excellent stuff. He's able to rip it on the sideline, then throw it in the middle of the field, layering it over guys. And that's special stuff right there. And so Arizona State, you know, Marcus Arroyo, Kenny Dillingham, they're going to take advantage of this. This is something they've done with Sam Leavitt. He's an athletic guy, can throw the football on the run. So this is something that they do pretty often. This is dash protection. So dash protection is a way for them to throw the football on the run, but set up this edge defender right here to invite him into the rush. So you see the slight pause that Sam Leavitt's doing, and then he's getting outside. Well, that's to invite this defensive end so this tight end here can go ahead and pin him on the inside to allow Sam Leavitt to get on the outside. So they're going to utilize this with Cutter Boley. You get, flat guy is number one. You have these deep posts that are really draining everything out, and then this deep cross across the field. And when Cutter Boley can rip it around, they're going to find every way that they can to move him outside the pocket and let him use that ability. You see the slight pause, inviting him, pinning him inside, Sam Leavitt getting on the outside, and then ripping it across the field. Cutter Boley's going to be doing that all season long in the Big 12. Cutter Boley, 6'5", 220, can pump the ball down the field. I mean, this is opposite hash all the way to a man-to-man coverage, putting it in a great spot to the field, back shoulder throw for Kentucky touchdown. That arm strength at 6'5", 220 should get Arizona State excited about their play-action pass game. Arizona State, they believe in running the football, and Marcus Arroyo, Kenny Dillingham are very creative in the play-action pass game. And how I'll show you that is, this is Jeff Sims. He replaced Sam Leavitt. He's a really good running quarterback used in quarterback run game. So how can they make things look like they're running quarterback run game and get creative and turn it into play action? And it starts with the shift. They start the back out here, move them over. This is an unbalanced formation, meaning that this tackle's eligible. This player is an ineligible receiver. He can't go anywhere. And then you have an attached tight end. So Iowa State is playing a form of man-to-man coverage or match where they're going to attach to these guys. If they run into a zone over here, he might attach to a player, but they're going to run with him if they run vertical. And how they get creative with that is, this looks like quarterback run game. Maybe power read, they're pulling the guard to invite these backers into believing they have to defend the run. And what happens is this backer who's covering the tight end believes with the pulling guard and with this, hey, it's quarterback run game. I got to go play the run. And then you have the tight end arcing down the seam with a linebacker who cannot keep up with it. Ball's out. It creates an explosive. It creates a chunk play and turns it into a touchdown. And then you have Sam Leavitt. This is one of the best receivers in college football last year in Jordan Tyson against a really good Texas Tech defense. Use him as window dressing. Make it look like he's getting the football. You got two tight ends. Put him in motion. You fake it to the back. Maybe it looks like Sam Leavitt's going to roll out. Well, no. He's setting up. It's a beautiful pocket. You're going to use this tight end to drain out, this receiver to drain out, and this tight end is running tight end leak. So it looks like he's running a shallow route, and he's going to leak up, the top of the numbers there. Great pocket, sets the quarterback up, able to rip it for a huge chunk play down the field. And it's about using your players and using what you do best to make everything look the same and get to an explosive play. And again, we talked about throwing on the run earlier. It's what they do, shifts in motion, bring these receivers in, bring the back in. It forces all of TCU to communicate, creating some type of confusion. And so that dash protection we were talking about earlier, it's a quick pause by Sam Leavitt in Arizona State. Then you get outside and set up right here in the pocket. It's a great pocket. They're in a deep hinge and then a heat post. A heat post is an inside post where he's trying to get over the top. And what he's doing is just high-lowing this corner and this safety over here. If they grab this hinge route, he's going to throw the heat post right behind their head. And it's exactly what happens. They go and grab the hinge. He's launching that heat post over the top. Arizona State just does so many creative things in the play action pass game. It really suits Cutter Boley and those strengths really well. While some people may think Cutter Boley is just a pocket passer and that the run game, won't be incorporated, I beg to differ. I think it's going to be a huge part of that Arizona State offense situationally. But because you can see they're in the red zone here, 16-yard line, dropping back to pass, trying to run a little play action. He sees this completely open up. And by the way, this is a huge moment in the game against Texas. He takes it up right down the middle of the field. He's got some juice to him about it. And this is against Tennessee Tech, sure. But, these are really good football players too. Is able to get the edge, tightrope the sideline, and he's going to lower his shoulder. Like he's seeking contact to get into the end zone. Like that should get you excited. So where this applies directly to Arizona State, creating different play action pieces, but here they are down the red zone. They can use this on third down, short yardage situation, shifts, forces the defense to communicate, shift the back down. They're going to run power read. Motioning this guy here, Sam Levitt is reading this edge defender. If he expands with the motion, he's going to keep it himself and follow his pulling guard right up the middle. If this end stays, he's going to hand it off to his sweep, and he's going to catch the edge, and they'll have numbers on the outside to block. So he's reading one defender. He feels that he's expanding. Let me go ahead and follow this guard right into the end zone. And that physicality from Cutter Boley, that downhill runner's mentality, that's going to serve them very well down in the red zone. They motion the back. You can see how the read pans out. He's going to look. This guy expands a little bit. He's going to follow his pulling guard here, make a little bit of a cutback, and get into the end zone. So, all of these attributes that Cutter Boley has, throwing on the run, the arm strength to be able to throw in the play action game. And then I think the quarterback run game is an element that people necessarily aren't looking for. They're going to be critical in those situational moments in red zone and third down. Excited to see what he does going from Lexington, Kentucky out to Arizona State, playing for a guy like Kenny Dillingham who's got the juice, and he'll do big things in the Big 12 this year.